Victor had always been a quiet, reserved young man. Throughout his life, he had never been in a relationship, not because he wasn't interested in love, but because he had never found the right person. That changed in his final year at the university when he met Amara. It happened by chance in the library. Victor was buried in a poetry book when a notebook slid onto his table. He looked up and saw a young woman with a bright, warm smile. "Oh, sorry about that," she said, laughing lightly. Victor handed the notebook back, his fingers brushing against hers for a brief second. He felt his heart race. "You like poetry?" she asked, pointing at his book. "Yes," he admitted, a bit shyly. "Interesting," she mused, tilting her head. "But don't tell me you've never been in love." Victor hesitated before nodding. "Actually, I haven't." She laughed, and from that moment, a beautiful friendship blossomed between them. They spent hours talking, sharing dreams, and enjoying each other's company. Amara was in her second year, full of life and confidence, while Victor was more reserved, but she found his kindness and sincerity irresistible. Over time, their bond grew stronger, and before they knew it, they had fallen deeply in love. One evening, as Victor walked Amara home, she turned to him and said, "I want you to meet my parents soon." Victor felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. "I'd love that," he replied with a smile. When the day finally came, Victor dressed neatly and arrived at Amara's house, a grand mansion that spoke of wealth and power. As he sat in the living room, facing Chief Okafor, Amara's father, and Mama Nkechi, her mother, he could sense the tension in the air. Chief Okafor was a proud man, known for his influence in business and society. He studied Victor with cold, calculating eyes. "Young man," he began, "what do your parents do?" Victor answered honestly, "My father was a teacher, but he passed away. My mother runs a small store." Chief Okafor's expression darkened. "So you come from a poor background?" "We may not have much," Victor replied, meeting his gaze, "but we have love and values." Chief Okafor scoffed. "Love? Will love feed my daughter? Will it give her the life she deserves?" "Papa," Amara protested, but her father raised a hand to silence her. Mama Nkechi spoke softly, her voice carrying concern. "Amara, my dear, we just want the best for you." "I love Victor," Amara said firmly. "That should be enough." But Chief Okafor shook his head. "As long as I live, I will never approve of this." Victor felt his heart sink. He had hoped for acceptance, but instead he walked away with rejection weighing heavily on his shoulders. Weeks passed. Amara and Victor still loved each other, but her father's disapproval cast a shadow over their happiness. Then, one day, Amara received a frantic call from her mother. "Your father, he collapsed. He's in the hospital," Mama Nkechi cried. Amara rushed to the hospital, her heart pounding. There she found her father lying weakly on a bed, while Dr. Adams, the family physician, spoke in a grave tone. "Chief Okafor has severe kidney failure," the doctor explained. "He needs a transplant urgently, or he won't survive." Tears filled Amara's eyes. Her strong, proud father was now fragile and helpless. They searched for a donor, but none of the family members were a match. Time was running out. Unbeknownst to them, Victor had overheard the conversation. Without hesitation, he approached the doctor. "Test me," he said. "If I'm a match, I'll donate." Dr. Adams was surprised. "Are you sure? This is a major sacrifice." Victor nodded. "I love Amara. Her father's life means everything to her, and that's enough reason for me." After the tests, it was confirmed. Victor was a perfect match. Without seeking permission or recognition, he underwent the surgery, giving Chief Okafor a second chance at life. When Chief Okafor awoke, weak but alive, Amara sat by his side. Her eyes were filled with tears as she whispered, "Papa, do you know who saved you?" Chief Okafor blinked in confusion. "Who?" "Victor," she said. "The man you rejected gave you a part of himself." The revelation shook him to his core. He had judged Victor unfairly, deeming him unworthy of his daughter. But now, the same young man had made the ultimate sacrifice for him. Later, Chief Okafor visited Victor in his hospital room. The young man looked pale but smiled when he saw him. The old man cleared his throat. "Son, I was wrong about you." His voice was thick with emotion. "Please, forgive me." Victor smiled weakly. "Your acceptance is all I ever wanted." Tears glistened in Chief Okafor's eyes as he took Victor's hand. A few months later, a grand engagement party was held. Chief Okafor stood before the guests, holding a glass of wine. Victor looked at Amara, love shining in his eyes. "I promise to love her forever." As they embraced, surrounded by family and well-wishers, it was clear that their love had triumphed over every obstacle. And so, through trials, pain, and sacrifice, Victor and Amara's love story became one that would be told for generations, a story of a love that knew no limits.